I'm Katie,
I'm Kylie.
and this is
You're Not Paranoid. Hi.
Hello.
Hey.
Welcome. How are you?
What's happening? Good. How are you?
I'm all right.
You look like Elsa.
Thanks.
Your
I've
hair's
got-
so long.
I know.
So fun.
I was thinking about cutting it, but not. I don't know.
Why do girls always do that? It's kind of weird.
I know.
You know what?
As soon as it's long, I'm like, bye-bye.
You're like, get rid of it. I know. I've had long hair since I was, I think, 11. Because when I did get it cut, I got it cut. Like I was like, I'll take a trim, and I was at a student. I may have told this story. I always say this. I've been taking my preface it. I went to one of those schools that's like very popular in the 90s / 2000s. Got my hair cut, and the lady had really thick hair, and I do not have a lot of hair. So I was like, I want my hair to look like yours. I just kept cutting it till it got thicker and thicker, which then began the story of my bangs that I'll never get again because they started from way back here. And they were about this thick and straight across, and my mom cried. It was a bad day.
So that's why you don't cut your hair short anymore.
I learned my lesson. You don't cut your hair. You just trim it,
Got it.
or else you look like a hideous 4-year-old.
But you're not.
Thank you. Yeah, it's kind of a weird feeling, but now here we are. I always think, okay, this is going to sound weird, but being a science person, I tend to overthink things probably more than most. And I'm like, hair is just like weird proteins, and we like braid it and play with it and color it, but really it's just like
Dead.
like dead growing things that we like play with and make look like cute by our standards. I don't know. I just think it's like a little strange.
Yeah, it is kind of weird.
Like when you really think about it. And like we put paint on our faces to make our like certain colors look better because that associates with healthier. And like, what do eyelashes have to do with reproduction? Maybe just to get someone's attention.
Yeah,
Like, so that they're like drawn
out of
in.
our eyes.
They're like, seductive. She must make good babies. Like, does that, the boobs I get, the booty, maybe so that you can like, if your baby drops, you can like have a good cushion or something. I don't know, but you get what I'm saying.
Sure.
Not sure I quite understand what we've done here with humanity.
Well,
how we got here today.
That is a good question.
Like, who decided? How long were their hair back in the day? Were they like cutting it off, or like were they always just throwing it up in a messy bun? Like, are messy buns retro? Was that a cave lady thing? Like, I'm just curious. Was man buns, like, were man buns a thing?
That's a good question.
I'm just wondering, what did their hair look like? You know, these are the kind of thoughts I think.
And we probably won't know because
unless we have a time machine.
Yeah.
Maybe that's
before the written record there wouldn't be any.
Watch, we like find these cave drawings and it's like luscious locks, just like I don't know. I feel like if you had curly hair and no detangler, you'd probably just want to shave your head all the time.
Well, like the Vikings, they have them braided.
That's true. Dreadlocks, just like lock them together. That's true. That's probably what they did. That makes more sense. And then one day they were like, let's just brush them out.
Or wear wigs because we don't shower.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's what they did. Okay.
That was more recent.
Right. Full circle. Thank you. Maybe people wash and brush their hair because it's hygienic.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm learning something. I just think it's weird and fun to think about those things. Yeah. How are you? What about you? What's your fun, weird thoughts? Oh, did we say hi to anyone?
Hello to anyone. we specifically
is anybody out there? Hello. And you.
Hello to all of the specific individuals that are listening right now and or watching.
Our number one fans who always show up. every week. We
Thank you.
see you and we appreciate you. And now you see us.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And you hear
And
us too.
And if you don't see us, you can see us by going to our YouTube channel.
Indeed.
You're Not
Same
Paranoid
name.
Podcast. Yeah. You
The
can find
name's
it
the
on our
same. Say
website.
who?
Sorry about that. Whoa. What? Huh?
Hmm? Is it on our website too?
It is. There's a link to our YouTube channels.
What's up?
Yeah.
Website.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So here we are. And this is Kylie.
And I'm Katie.
And we are You're Not Paranoid. I feel like this is a great depiction of who we are as people, by the way. Like blank wall, black, white. Your wall is like colorful and cute.
I feel like I don't like
well organized.
the side by side. The coloring makes me look weird. I look very pink.
You look like you have life, and I look like a ghost. I could be a black and white photo right now. Like you wouldn't. You have no idea. So good. But this is the corner of my room.
This is
My
the
guitar
wall.
usually sits here.
Oh, you're the guitar.
I'm the guitar.
You're the guitar girl.
Buddy dum dum day.
Mm-hmm.
And that is all. Well, thanks for joining, everyone. No, I'm just kidding.
And goodbye.
And bye. No, cool. Brittany runs a marathon. Super cute.
Okay.
Liked it a lot.
Does she run it?
She
Or
does.
Oh, spoiler alert.
Well, it's called Brittany Runs a Marathon, so you know it's happening. But it's actually based on a real story about this
A book.
about this Brittany overcoming her own life challenges to actually run to do like follow her goal and do it. And so it's not like a documentary, it's a drama comedy, but Jillian Bell, the actress, is just so freaking funny and kills me. I know you don't think she's funny, I can tell by your face.
I don't know who it is.
She's she's from that show. So like originally, I think the first time I ever saw her, she was on Workaholics. Have you ever seen that show?
No. Nor.
Who are you? We're back to square one. Okay.
I know now TV shows, that's even
Remember
worse.
that? Did you watch Modern Family?
Yes.
Okay. Remember that nerdy babysitter guy that I don't know his name as an actor? He has kind of a baby face. He was in the show. He was dating Haley, the older daughter.
Oh, the like weird guy.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
He's Workaholics.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. So that girl, she's really funny.
Girl.
No, the girl Jillian Bell who's in Workaholics with the guy who's weird.
Okay, so you
and then
it
the
was
guy
one
with the
degree of
curly hair looks
separation.
like a man poodle. Yeah. The man poodle.
I think you've lost me again.
Can I share my am I allowed to share my screen?
No.
Dang. Well,
can you?
Google Workaholics and we can put an end to this. And you're still not going to know what it is. You're going to be like, never heard of it.
Share it. It says one participant can share at a time.
Okay, but just Google Workaholics instead of Googling the Zoom abilities.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but okay, so I'll just put in what Jillian Bell.
Workaholics.
Wait, so now I'm doing. Okay.
Oh, because you need two hands.
No, am I doing it, or I was just gonna add it in later, like boop boop.
Oh, yeah, that's perfect. Yeah.
Or do you want me to know who it looks like, and I can Google it on my iPad?
It's okay. It's this Jillian Bell's worth it, but it's fine.
Well, she's the main character. I know. I've seen like the preview or whatever. So
I know, but her as an actor, like her character in that movie is really funny. But she is also, now that I'm doing acting classes, a total like she's just such a comedic genius, and I don't know how she does things. Just cracks me up. She's fantastic. You will love it. I was like, I wasn't expecting it to be great, and I actually really loved it.
There you go.
There you go. That's it. Why does it take so long for me to say things? I don't know why. It's okay. I think we're opposites in that way. You're super efficient.
Thanks.
At communicating, and you're very picky at when you do communicate. And I'm just like, word vomit all the time. Get over here so I can talk to you.
Yes.
Yeah. Which is why this works, right?
Mm-hmm.
Friendship.
Friendship.
Yeah. Okay.
Incommunicado.
So that was all for nothing. And I'm just kidding. I'm just trying to get some life out of you. Speaking of
Yeah.
life,
Oh, okay.
what? No,
I
you
was just
go.
gonna say, like, I can have also my movie called Katie Runs a Marathon.
I know. Okay, so that's what I was gonna say, and then I got derailed on the whole who Jillian Bell is.
Sorry.
Because Katie has run a
So,
marathon.
oh, I thought you said because Katie doesn't know anything about movies, and I was gonna be like, surprise.
Katie ran a marathon. Surprise. No,
No,
Katie's a
not
good
yet.
runner.
Not yet.
Wait, I thought you did.
I've done halvesies, but I have this will be my
Oh.
full one. This is a
Wait, when?
in May. This is a COVID redo from 2 years ago.
For sure thought you were gonna say co-ed, but I was like,
It is
is
co-ed.
there I know, but I'm like, which made me think like, are there lady marathons? Like, what does that mean?
Yeah, I kind of wanted to have it on my bucket list as like doing it before I turn 30.
Wah, wah.
But it's not
Now
gonna
you can do
happen.
it before you turn 40.
Yeah, at this rate, it's been canceled like 3 times. So
Canceled. Yeah.
cancel, cancel.
Yeah.
But sorry, what were you gonna say?
No, I'm just super proud of you.
Oh,
Potentially.
thanks.
I'm not proud of you
Yeah,
yet,
yeah.
but the
Hold off
potential
on that. Hold off on that. See
the
if
potential
I
is
go
there.
through it. Thank you.
Yeah. I have it reserved for when you
Thank
do it.
you. Thanks.
But I am still though proud of your halvesies. Those are pretty cool.
Thanks.
I would like to attend and be a cheerleader the way that Brittany had her cheerleaders at the marathon. I was like crying. It was so cute.
Oh, well, oh, you're not on social media, but Glennon Doyle, she
Mm.
was posting about because her wife did the New York Marathon,
Mm-hmm.
and she like didn't really think it would be that cool, but she said it was like one of the coolest things she's ever done in her life was like be on the route and like cheer
Yeah.
people on. I'm like,
Aw. Yeah,
"Oh."
that's basically like if you watch the movie, that's where it is. It's a New York City Marathon and it just like pumps you up to run. And I'm like, I'm not a runner, but I want to do this just by watching this movie.
I will say it's really nice when people are cheering for you and like the random strangers.
Mm-hmm.
They'll like give you high fives and stuff.
The only time it's okay to high five a random stranger.
Yeah,
Marathons.
just be careful.
It would also be a good place to go missing. Knock on wood. Be careful.
Mm,
Not a good that
well,
sounded
I'm
bad.
sorry. Like the ones that
If
I
you're
do
a
are
bad
they
person.
do not look like the New York marathons. So I think it would be a lot harder to disappear.
Gotcha. Plus you have trackers, so it's not really
Hmm.
smart to do
Yeah,
that.
I
That
would
sounded all
definitely.
very bad. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Or redo, undo, control Z, blah, blah, blah.
blah
But
blah.
you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'd like to run the New York Marathon. I
Big
tried.
crowds just make me feel like people go away.
Yeah. I also don't
That'd
know
be
why they run it in November.
it's
It's
so
really
cold.
cold.
Like almost I think literally freezing.
Yeah, I was
People
gonna.
do die doing marathons.
People do die.
Hmm.
Yeah. Do you listen to Weirdest Thing I Learned this week?
Not as much as I used to.
They did one on like the history of the marathons, and there was like one where they did it, and it was like 95 or something. I think someone died or
Oh, for
like
being too
got
hot.
sick. Yeah.
Ah, there was one. Remember, were we talking about that on this podcast, or was it my other podcast? Just kidding. I don't have another
Yeah.
podcast. I just meant regular life where there was one. I can't remember where it was. I want to say the continent of Asia, if I'm not mistaken. There was like a snowstorm, and there were freaking like baseball sized hail.
Oh.
Were we talking about that?
Yeah, I don't know if it was on the podcast, but yeah, it was like the ultra marathon thing,
Yeah.
and people died.
Yeah.
'Cause
Totally
a
insane. Then like
freak.
hypothermia. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Ooh, on the same line, my favorite murder did a I Survived story where this guy is like the opposite climate, but it was an ultra marathoner and he got lost in like the sand dunes.
oh my
I
gosh.
think he spent like months.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
How?
eating bat guts.
Oh my
He found
gosh.
like a little like hut thing and the bats like stayed in there and so then he would eat them.
I'm like disgusted and amazed at the same time.
Yeah, he like went like and then he did the one thing that you're not supposed to do. And he's
Ate
like,
the guano.
no, he was like, I think the race track is this way. And so
Ah.
he kept going and he ended up being like in a different country
Ah.
at the end.
Where was, well, I guess if you're in sand dunes, you're
Oh,
not
it
possibly in the
was,
US.
I can't remember if it was in like northern Africa
Oy, oy, oy.
or somewhere in the Middle East.
Yeah.
But it was like really bad
Places where
weather.
there's another country on where there's sand dunes. Because here there's no country where there's sand dunes.
No. Oh yeah, it was
I guess Mexico,
international.
you might have some sand dunes, but not the same that I'm picturing. I'm
No, yeah.
picturing like rolling sand dunes.
That's what I would picture too.
Mm. Hmm. Wow.
There
Bat
you go.
guts. Poor bats. But
Well,
good for him.
and then he caused COVID. I'm just kidding. Patient
And
zero.
now he is a vampire.
Yeah.
Patient zero vampire. Oh man. That would be cool though. I mean, theoretically, if there was like, I know we're gonna get to our episode. This could even be its own episode at this point, I swear. But like where there could be patient zero vampire, where like the year like they say like patient zero zombie, but
hmm
like patient zero vampire, where like you
Well,
just start sucking people's blood.
there'd have to be,
Instead of-
right?
Well, yeah, but besides it being mythical, I'm saying like real
Oh,
life.
like a real life
Like if
one?
someone like instead of zombies, they just like sucked blood,
Oh,
right? I think people do that, but
yeah.
eat blood bags, and it's not
Ew,
good.
ew, ew, ew.
Mm-mm. Let's not go down that route.
Well, yeah, I guess I don't know like the what do you call it? Like the origin story of vampire, like what makes them otherworldly
Yeah.
or like not human. I don't know.
Like who saw what they thought was happening? Like was it a really bad hickey? Or was it like
Oh, didn't we talk about
very
that?
rare?
There is some like it was like the came out of like a plague or disease or something. Like
Congratulations to us. We're at the point where we don't remember what we talk about.
uh
Literally.
oh well, we'll think of it later, but I think that the vampire myth or legend
Came,
occurred because of some sort of plague
yeah,
or whatever.
for sure. I mean, that is a true thing though, where like I find myself sometimes wondering like did I say that or did I listen to another podcast that said that?
Yeah, same, same.
Same, but we're all a big community. If you hear it, you learn it, you pass it, you flip it, bop it, whatever, spin it,
Flip it and
twist it.
reverse it.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay, super random, and then I'll be done
Okay.
with random stuff. Have you heard the song "Best Friend" by
Saweetie and Doja Cat?
Saweetie? Yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
no
Just
doy.
to like close the chapter on the
Okay.
batch. Every time that song comes on, I'm not joking. I just picture you at the bachelorette party. I'm like, oh, Katie.
Thanks.
So, anyways, and if you guys don't know that song, the lyrics are like pretty cray cray. But I love they kind of cray
They're
cray.
not like,
They're
well,
not
I mean,
like
I listen, that's kind of like what I have exclusively been listening to for a while now is like female
best
rap.
friend. Yeah.
Um,
Oh, so then
and
it's your
that's
norm.
not really that bad.
Right. Well, it's not bad compared to a lot of other ones for sure. But I don't know, like that song makes me smile because it like I always hear like a line I haven't heard before when
hmm
I hear it like over and over again, or like the next time. But is that my Bessie and a Tessie? Like that always makes me laugh. I don't know
I know,
why.
and it's funny because one of my male coworkers has a Tesla, and every time like we go to lunch in his car, I think it in my mind, but I can't say it out loud.
Oh my gosh. You should just
But
say it one
I
of
feel
these
like I
days.
should. Yeah, I feel like I know that I'm very quiet in general. Oh my
Yeah.
God. I don't know if you can hear her.
Shush, Jibs.
It's Addison.
Addie, my Bessie. It's my Bessie and a Tessie.
Um, it takes me a while to like warm up to people. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
And
we know.
especially at work. But
Yeah.
then I feel like at my work now, I can't like
Like it's
I,
been too long of being the way you are.
well, yeah, and they don't really like
They
show
don't
their personalities that much around me.
that or
And
they
so
don't
then,
have any
well,
personality.
yeah, and it's like they're all dudes. I
Dudes can
call
have
them,
personalities, but
yeah,
specific
but it's just
personality
like,
types.
yeah, I feel like if I just like one day was like, that's my Bessie and a Tessie too.
That's how you broke the ice with us at our last job. She was just like, Katie was super quiet, and I'd be that person who was trying to like get to know everybody. And so I'd like laugh with my coworker, and I'm like, right, Katie? And I look over and you're like, I'm like, oh, she either didn't hear me or she
I
doesn't
didn't hear
care.
you.
So I assumed you didn't care. And I was like, wow, she hates me. And so it took another year to get to know each other. Just kidding. It was only like 6 months. And then one day Katie is like, I was wondering what went through your head that day, if you were like warming up for it.
Mhm.
Because you were like, can I get a line clearance or something like that, which is
Mhm.
like what we say when you're in manufacturing stuff. And I was like, who is this person? She's
Yeah, maybe I just
also
do that,
weird.
just like a 180 all of a sudden.
Yeah,
It also doesn't help that there's only like two people like that I work with.
for
And then
sure.
there's like,
Because before it was like 5 and now it's 2. So
mhm.
I guess that's a little bit smaller.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. I was like, I went a step like where we worked was a pretty small company, but it was been around for a while.
Yeah.
Like the company I work for now is like the precursor.
What's a boo.
It's a blah blah. But yeah, we were gonna have a quote unquote holiday party
Oh
next
no.
month, but it got canceled.
Big surprise.
Yeah, I was like, what's the over under on that? But they postponed it one whole month, so everything's gonna be fine in April.
For sure.
But I was like, maybe that's where I'll just let it all out.
Yeah. April showers cures COVID.
Hmm.
Um, for sure. That was another place I was like, dang. Before this, my best friend's song even came out, you were doing all those things on the dance floor at the work parties. Next to
No.
me. Well, that or like, dancing to
Yeah, because I
classic
was like,
high school
no one
classics.
knows who I am.
Yeah.
They all think we're the plus ones.
Yeah.
So it's
They
the same.
literally
It's the
did.
same kind of situation. So
Hmm.
like, no one really knows me because I don't
You can
work
just
at the.
say, yeah, your boyfriend works there and you're the
Hmm.
plus one. And they're
And
like,
it's like, wow.
yeah. The CEO is like, no, Kate, like, I know you. You're like, no, it's not me.
Just do like the Kristen Wiig thing,
I am Mrs. Iglesias.
and then just shrink into the background.
Okay, stove. What are you, an appliance? This should be open. Civil rights. Such a good movie. I could go on and on. Shall I? No, I'm just kidding. Shall we start for reals here? Okay, let's jump to why we're here.
Indeed.
I'm excited. Are you excited? Let's see your excited face. That's a great smile. That was good.
Notice
Movement. We've
my
got movement, people.
my frown smiles more than my real smile. I think my muscles got like mixed up. You know what I'm saying? I can do a better frown.
I think this is
Look, look at that would be such a nice smile. Like my
it kind of
smile
looks
just goes in a
fishy.
straight line like the Joker. That's why I like want to get not necessarily lip injections, but they can do things where they like freeze certain
Contour.
parts and then they like loosen up the other parts so you can actually like smile.
Oh my gosh, it makes me laugh so hard. Okay, because like I've had like like you have like you are less expressive, right? And you
Yeah,
have
because
like
my face doesn't
zero
work.
wrinkles. But I've told people that before, like, oh yeah, like I guess I hope she's not like, I hope she's, doing well or, she's pretty quiet. And I'm like, yeah, no, she has no like she can't move her face.
It's
And
like I've
they're like,
had
what?
Botox, but I haven't.
They're like, what? And I'm like, no, like really, like your muscles don't cooperate
Yeah, and it's like I
from
wonder if
this
that's a
part
thing.
up.
Because I can't wink because like I don't have the control of the
Like
facial
like you
muscles.
can't like
I can kind of scrunch the one side, but the whole right side I can't.
huh. Maybe your mom was like, baby Botox, like you will never move your face. That's a horrible idea, by the way. Never do
Yeah,
that.
don't don't Botox your
But
face.
yeah, I know. I wonder what that is. We should
Yeah,
look that up sometime. Watch, we're
yeah,
like diagnosing some syndrome of
yeah.
like
It's like,
beautiful
uh-oh.
face syndrome. Can't move. Wrinkles never happen.
I do have wrinkles though. This part moves.
Okay. If we like look really close, don't do that. Don't. The lighting is too good on here for me. Yours looks all nice and smooth, but anyways.
Oh, brother.
It's okay. It doesn't have to be a comparison. We can both be just as we
Hot.
are. We can accept ourselves. It's okay nowadays.
Hmm.
Okay,
Okay.
let's go. It's always been okay. That's a joke. I've been very sarcastic lately, and sometimes I think it comes off bitchy.
Welcome to my world.
Except for all that comes out of your mouth is sarcasm. So
I know. So I'm like, everyone at work probably thinks I'm a grade A bitch.
I know I've been told that before. They're like, that wasn't funny. That was just mean. I'm like, oh, I thought that's what we do here. Sorry, you can't handle it.
Wow.
Wow.
Sensitive.
Super sensitive. Yeah. Katie and I have only gotten into a fight once, and that's because I scared her at
Oh
work.
my God. Every time. I know you told that story before.
I definitely have. Yeah. No, it just, I'm still upset about it. No, I'm kidding. I'm not upset. It's fine. I was surprised you were upset, but then in retrospect, I was like, that makes sense. Yeah. Means I did a real good job. Literally scared the happiness out of her.
Mhm.
Okay. Now we're done. Now we're
done.
starting.
This is serious.
We're focused. Let's talk about our listeners' suggestions.
Yeah. Thank
Thank you so much. Did we have like are allowed to say handles?
I don't know because I didn't ask.
We go. What are we talking about, Katie?
We're talking about the Phoenix Lights in Arizona, USA.
A terrifying place. No, it's actually not. But after this, you might think so.
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of people have talked about this before. This is not new news.
Yeah, it happened in the 90s.
Yeah. I was 6.
I was 7.
You're old.
I'm old.
Yeah. No, actually, was I 6? No, I was 5. I wasn't quite 6 yet.
What?
Yeah.
But
Because
we're
it was
only 1 year apart.
March 13th,
Oh, right.
1997.
Technically, then I was 6 because
There
my
you
birthday's in May.
There you go. So we were little
We're little.
ones.
I was gonna ask my grandparents and I forgot
Uh-huh.
because they lived in Arizona when I was little.
Really?
Tucson, which
I
the
also
lights went to.
I also have an Arizona source. Yeah. For real. My friend's dad. Yeah.
Was he
He
the governor?
maybe.
Really?
No. That would be funny though. Okay, so we got a suggestion from a listener about the Phoenix Lights, which
Indeed.
happened, like Katie said, or I said, we said March 13th, 1997 in Phoenix, Arizona. Hence the
Get
Phoenix
it?
Lights. Ha, ha, ha. So clever. And we also, I wonder if that's why this person suggested it. There was recently a JJ Abrams docuseries. What do
Oh,
you
yes.
I mean like that?
I didn't know where you were going.
Oh, JJ
Like,
Abrams docuseries that we both watched. You watched it, right?
I watched only episode 1 because guess
That's
what?
what I'm saying though. So did
I
I.
was
That's fine.
like, eh.
What? I liked it.
I did, but also it's like, eh. It's the same old, same old.
It is. That's my point. It's not new news, but we're new people talking about it ourselves. So if you don't want to listen, skip ahead. Who cares? But if you just want to hear what we have to say because you like talking to us or like hearing us talk to each other, then welcome. Continue.
Welcome.
Yeah. And okay. The docuseries came out in August 2021. I only watched episode 1. Sounds like Katie did too.
Correct.
Yeah. And it's pretty good. I mean, it at least gives you like an inside look, a more updated look versus just reading through, gosh, thousands of articles that everyone talks about the same stuff over and over again on their website. But he actually interviews people who were there. Not JJ Abrams himself, but the docuseries interviews people. And I thought it was pretty interesting because he actually has access to people. Yeah, well, let's just talk about it. Ready?
Yeah, I thought some of the experts were interesting. I like the chick that was like a religious something, like it's connected.
She studies like the history of religion, I think.
Yeah.
Well, no wonder you like her. She's a history nerd. And she's also
It's
very
the moon.
passionate. You could tell she's like
Mhm.
really into it.
Yeah. I was
And there
like, "Whoa."
was, yeah, so they kind of go over like the Phoenix Lights themselves, what happened. So what are they? Tell us what they are, Katie. What was this Phoenix Lights experience?
All right. So, as you said, it was March 13th, 1997. The thing that they were talking about in the docuseries, it's called UFO. I don't know if we said that.
Yeah.
Um, that there was thousands of people that witnessed it, and it's also interesting because the 90s, believe it or not, like we had video capabilities. just
Camcorder
just
held
not on your
video.
phone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
tape record. It was like a tape, right? Was it
Yeah,
I don't think it was
kids.
VHS at that point. They were like actual tapes.
No, I think it was VHS.
It was VHS?
Oh, I
Okay.
don't know what records on the camcorder.
I think they have
So I
both,
was
but anyways, it's
anyways,
fine.
back in the day,
Yeah.
you used to have to record stuff on a separate video recorder,
You couldn't
not on a
talk to
phone.
people on it.
Mm-mm. I mean, you could try. Uh,
They would think you're crazy.
yeah, so at about 8:30 at night, there was a line of, I think they said 5 to 7 lights in the sky, and they were all shoom shoom. I'll put it there.
Yeah.
They all moved uniformly, and um,
They were shaped like a
yeah, but it was weird because the other thing that kind of annoyed me in the documentary was I think they were showing footage of like just random stuff,
they did a
not
lot of footage.
necessarily like the specific footage, so that kind of bothered me.
Yeah.
Um,
Like a
it's
lot
like
of
it's
reenactments.
yeah, like the UFO, like what you would think a UFO documentary is. It's like they say something really dramatic and then it was like montage of all the different UFOs that have been captured on video. And then it was the same like loop of UFO
Yeah.
footage like for the whole episode.
For sure. That what made it interesting was not the footage. It was definitely the people.
Yeah, but it was kind of annoying because I think some of it was actual footage from the
Yeah.
Phoenix Lights, but they didn't really specify.
Yeah, I think most of it was reenactments or like visualizations of it versus
Mhm.
actual footage.
Yeah, because the footage that they show, it looks like the lights are in a straight line, but the
Yeah.
eyewitness accounts were that it was like more in like an arrow shape, like you would see like birds flying in,
Yeah, like
like
a
a
V.
dime. Yeah, like a V.
And then there was a single point. But it could be that from their angle, because when they were describing it, it's like huge.
Yeah, and they
So
said that. No, go.
no, 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 you go.
Okay. I shall. Um, the other thing they said was super weird was the people that were closer to it said that it was completely silent.
Yes. And
Because
how eerie that is.
yeah, because it's like you would think, oh, it's just an airplane or whatever, or a group of airplanes, but you would hear them.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the other weird thing. Do you
There's
want
a
me to
lot of
keep going or
rebuttals. Yeah.
rebuttals?
Like there would be a lot of they interviewed a lot of people who would say
Oh,
one thing and then like, well, it couldn't be that or this is definitely right or a lot of finger pointing.
yeah. Um, Da, da, da. At first, like no one like in the government or Air Force would say anything for a while. But I mean, also if like you live close to an Air Force base.
Yeah.
Hmm. But eventually the Air Force comes out and says, "Oh, sorry about that. We were performing flare exercises or whatever." And then
Mhm.
they did show the plane like shooting off the flares, and it kind of does make that like pattern.
Yeah.
But the
But
people, so there was a couple different rebuttals to that.
yeah.
First off, the Air Force gave a different time. They said
Yes.
that they were performing it at 10:30 at night, but all the witnesses claimed they first started seeing it at around 8:30.
Yep.
And they were saying that the lights were moving quickly and like from Phoenix to Tucson. So there's people in Tucson, Arizona that saw them. And
Yeah.
flares are just flares, they would just kind of like sizzle out and fall.
Sizzle out.
Sizzle out, you know what I'm saying?
Fizzle out. Same difference.
Sizzle out, fizzle out.
I like that. Yeah. Yeah.
And then the other thing that I thought was interesting was the governor of Arizona at the time.
Fife Symington.
Fife Symington, what a guy.
Mm.
So he said that he saw them as well, which is kind of, I feel like, different than a lot of other UFO cases where no one like in government like really acknowledges that it happens.
But he didn't at the time.
I thought it said that
Remember?
he did see them.
No, he didn't admit it at the
Oh,
time.
I see, I see.
That's my point. So in the moment, do you remember like that whole scandal with him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I
So
guess I like understood it because he was talking about it from the beginning.
right. So that's what's so interesting is now he talks about it openly, but
Mm-hmm.
back then he
He
did
didn't.
not.
Yeah, he seemed like an interesting character.
He's hiding something.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I
Him
mean,
and his like chief of state, like
yeah,
staff state. I don't remember what his title was.
I think he was chief of staff, but that was kind of weird too.
Yeah.
But yeah, he said like he was in the Air Force and he was like, nah, that doesn't add up or whatever.
The timing doesn't make sense. Flares don't do that. He saw it with his own eyes and
Mm-hmm.
he was caught off guard. He was all yeah. He was also saying that there's like his buddy was like, "No, I think those are like military planes." And like he named a couple. He's like, "I he's like, "I was a pilot and that is not them."
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "Ooh."
Yeah. But they basically didn't do any sort of investigation. The statement from the Air Force saying they were flares from a plane, like that was it. The interesting part with the governor is that he started an investigative like group to look into it and then quickly shut it down and was like just joking. And then
Yeah.
because he was also being sued for or being taken to court for 20 something counts of fraud,
Yeah. Which
which,
happened prior to him being governor. So suddenly
yeah.
those are apparently it was like a 7-year investigation that
Hmm.
but if that was the case, why let him even run for governor? Like, why wouldn't that all come out before he's running for governor?
It could have, but there's nothing. Well, I don't know if local laws, but there's nothing that stops you from having a criminal past and running for president.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, woohoo!
What?
USA. USA. Yeah, there's two qualifications. You have to be a US citizen and you have to be 35 or older.
That's it?
That's it, baby. And
Our
Ted
time
Cruz will
is
probably
coming.
test that because if Ted Cruz ever runs, that will probably be a Supreme Court case. So here's a little history side.
No.
Because he was actually born in Canada to an American. So he's not like a natural born, or he is a naturalized citizen or whatever, but he was actually
Oh.
not born in America.
Hmm.
So that will probably have to be a court case.
Dealt
Anywho,
with. Yeah.
yeah. But yeah,
Dang.
so you could be a convicted felon and run for president, but you might not be able to vote for yourself, depending on what state you're from.
Hmm. Makes sense. Doesn't mean other people will vote for you. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Dang. Okay. What were we talking about?
The governor being in
Oh,
court.
oh, oh. I just meant, I don't know. So the thing about that you're talking about, and I'm just gonna like jump in with you if that's okay.
Mhm.
You're like, jump in with you. Is that fraud case conveniently came up and resurfaced right after he said we
Mhm.
are going to investigate this like because he saw it himself but we don't know that at the time so in the footage he's taking it seriously him and who was she the mayor
I
of
don't know. Yeah, she was like a lower level.
yeah but she took it very seriously
Yeah, and they destroyed her in the press. I think
they
she was
destroyed her
like a council member of Phoenix or whatever
something
the
like that
smaller
yeah but
branch.
she took the concerns of the citizens seriously and so did he and so
Mhm.
they're like oh wow like this is going to go somewhere and
Mhm.
then the fraudulent case came out and then he has a meeting and then he holds like
Emergency press conference.
an emergency press conference which is not to be taken lightly like
Mhm.
if they say there's an emergency press conference it's like drop everything you're doing like this is
Like something
important
really Yeah.
Something's wrong. Usually, it's not a good thing. It's
Yeah,
usually
it's
a bad thing. It's like the public needs to stop their lives so they can be aware of this.
mm-hmm.
And then we're spoiling it. So if you guys haven't seen it, sorry,
I mean, it happened
or
like
skip
30
ahead.
years ago
Yeah, but
almost.
just in the
Yeah, yeah.
movie, or the docuseries. So then he's like, okay, emergency order. Like we've found, like, oh, we won't. Oh, that's what it was. We won't take, basically, this is paraphrasing, we're not going to take shit from anybody that's human or alien. Like, they will be brought to justice. We don't take this lightly. This is a very serious matter, so we'd like to basically show you guys that we're taking this seriously.
Mm-hmm.
And they bring in a dude in an alien costume.
Wasn't
He's
it the chief of
trapped.
staff?
It
Yeah.
was the chief of staff that's being interviewed for this docuseries at the same time.
Yeah, dressed
And
up as an alien.
yeah, and he's like,
Uh,
"Oh, we thought it was very important to put this um conspiracy to rest."
yeah,
And so
like you guys are too serious.
light of it. But none of it, so like, and this is where I feel like the conversation's gonna go. None of it makes sense to me in a
Yeah.
logical sense. Like, none of it doesn't quite add up. Because if you wanted to take it seriously and put it to rest, you would say, the Air Force said this, and
Mm-hmm.
this is it.
Yeah.
Not make a joke of it. That's like that thing where you're like, hey, don't talk about her hair. She's really embarrassed. And then it's like, I love your hair. Like, you like draw
Mm-hmm.
attention around it. It's like,
Yeah, I
it's
also
so,
liked how he didn't remember
yeah,
it,
how
and they had to play it back for him.
when they were interviewing him in like
Mm-hmm.
present day. Yeah, they're like, how did that go? He's like, oh, I don't quite remember. I just remember the broad strokes.
Yeah, and then I was
Okay.
like, I was not expecting that at all, and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, that was upsetting. I was like watching the screen all like
Yeah.
in focus. I'm like, oh, they're not doing that. I would be so upset. And that's, people were upset because they're like,
Mm-hmm.
now the governor's mocking me.
Because
He
that
doesn't
was
believe what
literally
I
it.
say. Yeah.
And then,
Yeah. And then the councilwoman got dragged through the dirt.
mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
they even like were making fun of her a little bit in the present interview, the governor and the chief
yeah.
of staff. They're like, because she was claiming how she interviewed like 700 people and like had all these reports and stuff. And then when they were telling the governor and the chief of staff during the interview, they kind of laughed and they're like, there was no way she could have done that.
Yeah. That she'd have even the resources or
Yeah.
whatever.
Okay, because you normally pay interviewees or whatever.
Yeah.
But
Ay, ay, ay. That was frustrating. What was the other one? Oh, and then I think the other interesting thing was that they had the governor, before all this, when he was taking it seriously, he actually reached out to John McCain
oh yeah.
and was like, can we do an investigation on this? And John McCain reached out to the Air Force and they said, we don't investigate UFOs. So therefore, no. They didn't say it wasn't a
Mhm.
UFO. They
Mhm.
said, we don't investigate UFOs. So it kind of, again, this is what's going to happen in this whole conversation. It's like, it can't go anywhere because they have them set up so it can't go anywhere,
Mhm.
which is like so paradoxical to me because you think they would just want to get it over with and say, like, no, it's not.
Yeah. I
But
mean, I can
instead, we're like, we deny
I
it.
feel like it would help them to have it be like that though. Like very ambiguous and unclear and the like yes, no. Like here are some of our documents, but we aren't going to say anything because I feel like a lot of it probably is just the military testing stuff that they don't want us to like know about, like with Roswell.
Yeah.
That ended up being like government, like, or not government, but like military testing planes. They just never said anything until
Mm-hmm.
like decades later because it was better for them for people to think it was aliens so that other countries and stuff wouldn't know that what they were up to. So I can see that whole line of like, oh yeah, for sure. But then you would be like, oh yeah, it's for sure it's aliens. Like, you know. So that's why I think they're just effing with us by like, I don't know.
Like on again,
Maybe.
off again relationship.
Yeah.
You're like, maybe
Because
you can do it.
yeah,
I
maybe
don't
it
know.
is. But then if it really was UFO stuff, they're not going to come out and say it is. Because then that makes like them look like they don't have control of the security
They
of our
don't.
country.
Well, it's hard to control the air
That's why we have the Air Force and that's why we have the Space Force.
when you think about it. It's kind of funny. The force of the air.
Mhm.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, but that's
And
the
there's
kind of
been
part that sorry.
no, it's
Go.
okay. It's
I just
like
think I
ah,
just
you
like
go. Ah, ah, ah.
that's the part that I think is interesting is the like who knows what, not necessarily like if it's real because I feel like definitely some of it is,
Yeah.
but it's like who knows what and how much.
Yeah.
Will we ever know?
True. Oh, before I forget, I saw my little note.
Mm-hmm.
Um, remember Avi Loeb that I talked about in the episode? I wrote this down so I wouldn't forget. Episode 41, Zero Gravity Male, when we did talk about aliens. I think it was like the first time.
Oh, with that weird
That
thing that was in
thing.
space.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah,
He
yeah.
he's
Oh yeah, I was gonna say that's the dude.
yeah, that's him. So there's like a CBS Boston interview. I'm like, maybe he'll come on our show because he went on CBS Boston. You never know. Dear Avi, please join us.
Join us. Yeah, that was the other thing that they were talking about too, is that not a lot of people like to talk about it publicly because it's such like a I don't know.
Stigma.
Yeah, or like, you're kind of like it's always like, oh, the crazy person sees the UFOs. Like it's not
Yeah.
taken very seriously in those regards. So then a lot of people that, research related fields aren't going to come out and say anything because they don't want their work to be considered not or like not taken seriously.
Yeah. And I thought that, and that's like that lady that I forgot her name. We should know it. The one in the docuseries who's the historian of, I think she said
Mm,
religion or like religious practices. It was something along those lines where she talked about it was called the Invisible College, where it's all
mhm.
those researchers and scientists who she compared it to Fight Club. Like you don't talk about
Mhm.
fight. The first rule of blah, blah, blah. First rule of Fight Clubs, you don't talk about it.
Mhm.
Fight Club.
I have
And
seen that.
what?
Don't remember anything about it, but I have seen
You
it.
remember the fighting?
Yeah, they're like I just like kind of remember it was like a club and they like fight and stuff, but like it wasn't really.
But no one talked about it.
Yeah, because that
Something
wasn't
about
real.
bar soaps and or bars of soaps, not bar soaps.
Yeah, I didn't really get it.
Yeah, we should rewatch that. We should make a movie called Katie Watches a Movie.
Oh yeah, it could be like the Brittany runs a marathon.
Yeah, but Katie watches a movie.
Hmm.
And then it's just like a series of how you react. And your
Hmm.
face is like the whole time.
Yeah,
Like,
basically.
the computer's frozen. And then you blink and you're like, oh, wait, no, it's not. That's just her face.
I know sometimes I feel like because I'm good at staying still. I was like, I have to remind myself to like move a little bit in Zoom meetings because it's like I catch myself and I'm like, oh God, I look frozen.
Katie's like, I
Kind
can't even,
of.
I
I just
can't
like
even
blink
freeze like
sometimes.
that. Oh my gosh. I feel like I can't sit still, so it's kind of funny how opposite. But anyways, it's great. We love you anyways. Just
Thanks.
kidding. I mean, we do love you, but we love you regardless if you move or not.
Thank you.
Um, let's see. Oh, and then I kind of like was thinking more about it after I
Mhm.
watched the docu-series. Um, oh, actually, this is still a part of the docu-series. They're
Okay.
talking about the wrapping up of Project Blue Book, which was the 1970, I think, Air Force investigation into what are you looking
Sorry,
at?
I was just double checking my notes. I was
You're
listening.
good. It looks like you're texting,
Oh,
but
really? No,
like
sorry.
not gonna get caught. Like remember when we were oh cute. Remember when we were in high school and you like look down like that's
Yeah.
what it looked like you were doing. I was like, are you texting right now? Pay attention.
My mom teaches third grade, and or I think this might have been when she was teaching first grade, and like the same thing, but like someone like would want to pick their nose, so they would cover their with their one hand, they'd cover their nose and then pick their nose with their other hand, like you didn't know what was going on.
Oh, so that doesn't work?
No, so just like
Dang.
like being under the desk,
Aw, the nose
obvious.
pickers. And then there's other kids like at jujitsu and they just full speed go for it right in front of us. And we're like, come on,
That's what
man.
the mats are for. You just wipe it off on
No.
there.
Oh my gosh. But we like, like slap bump or use your hands a
Mhm.
lot. So I was like, ew, can you not? Like, that's so gross.
Mhm.
Kids are gross. We love them, but they're nasty little creatures. It's how the immune system goes though, right?
Yeah.
That's how we're alive. Besides all the other things. We won't go down that route today. Okay. So what I was saying was that the Air Force concluded their Project Blue Book investigation, and they were like, "We're gonna wrap this up. No more investigating." So it's kind of cool because the docuseries bounced around to like modern day, back in the day,
Mhm.
modern day, back in the day. Other sightings, the O'Hare sighting in Chicago with
Oh, yeah.
the airport and whatnot. But it was just interesting just to comment real quick on the flashback to the Project Blue Book. They were saying that they determined that there was no, based on their findings of investigating all the sightings back in the day, there was no evidence of threat to national security, and that what was seen, they didn't, this isn't verbatim, but was not scientifically impossible. And there's no proof of it being extraterrestrial.
And that was like in the 70s, right? That it concluded, or like the late 60s?
Yes, I want to say in the 70s. And it was called the Condon Report. I think
Yeah,
was the final report on that. But what I was wondering is maybe I was in a different headspace when I wrote my notes. I was like, how can it be both? Where it's like scientifically or not a threat to national security, but also nothing. I don't know. I just didn't like that they could like they're just like, oh, um, this is not special, but it's also not a threat to. You know what I'm trying to say? I
yeah,
feel like
that's
they're
what
not fitting it
that's
out
why
right.
the ambiguity
Yeah.
of it all is so that it's like, well, I don't think they would ever say that it was a national threat, because that would probably kind of be the like end of civilized society.
Right.
Um, but then also just that little like, but it could happen,
Yeah, like
you
it's
know.
not. Yeah, okay, that was kind of my point. It's like how can it be both possible but also not a threat to national security
They're like, yeah, we got it, but we can't tell you how or why, but we've got it under
or
control.
who?
Mm-hmm.
And we know it's not extraterrestrial. That's what I think. That's what I was trying to get at. It's like if you know it's not extraterrestrial, but you also can't, and you know it's possible, but you're also not going to own up to anything about it. How can
Mm-hmm.
you? That doesn't make
Yeah.
sense. They're like, it's like saying like, oh, do you get the joke? And they're like, yeah, I get it. Like, well, can you explain it? They're like, no.
Mm-hmm. Or they're just like, yes.
Yeah, I can explain it, but I'm not
And
going to
then
tell you.
there's
Yeah,
anywho,
yeah.
but
Or like, can you show me your like? I have the right answer to this problem. Can you show me your work? Like, no.
no. Mm-hmm.
You're like, well, how did you get there? If you can't just know the answer, it doesn't work like that.
It's not impossible that I got the right answer without showing my work.
No aliens helped me get there,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not a threat.
Mm-hmm. I was
So
gonna say the one thing about the Phoenix Lights, just real quick to go back to it.
yeah.
They did have a couple anonymous sources, which again, who knows, that one worked at the Air Force Base and
Mhm.
then one person saw, and they both say that fighter jets
Oh
were
yeah.
scrambled to go and figure out what the light was or the lights were.
Mhm.
And the guy, or I think they played the voice recording. The
Yeah.
person who claimed to work at the Air Force Base basically said it was a shit show and they were like freaking out.
Yeah.
They didn't know what it was, and it
Like
wasn't them.
the pilots came back like super shaken up and they
Mm-hmm.
locked down the whole Air Force base. Like no one goes in, no one goes out.
Mm-hmm. So there's that.
What is that? But yeah, that was fun and annoying. I feel like it's annoying slash fun when it's like this because I'm like, I want to just know and talk
I
about it.
know. That's why I don't like unsolved mysteries or unsolved murder cases. I just want to know the
Makes you feel
answers.
empty, which is why we come up with conspiracy theories to
Mm-hmm.
fill that dark hole in our lives.
Exactly.
At least if we have an answer, we can sleep at night.
Mm-hmm.
I get it.
Yeah.
I make conspiracies all the time. You'll go to bed on time, and then I don't. Or like, why or whatever. I'm just kidding. I don't know what I'm saying. It's time for bed.
It's
Just
time
joking.
to
It's like
sleep.
7 o'clock. Um, anyways, thank you, Katie,
Thank you, Kylie.
for joining me and I to you for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I sound like a psycho right now. Thank
That's
you
okay.
to our follower who suggested the Phoenix Lights. That was super fun to
Mm-hmm.
get a suggestion that we probably wouldn't, so just go for it ourselves. But it was a nice, like, very specific story to dive into. So everyone, thanks for listening
Yeah, thank
to
you.
us do our version because
Yeah,
we know it's out there.
and you can always send us topic suggestions
Yeah,
on Instagram or our
stories,
website.
personal stories,
Mm-hmm.
things you think are dumb or crazy. We'll validate that for you if you want to be validated.
We're here for
or
you, man.
or we might switch it up and be like, you're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, send it to us at your own risk. We are respectful
Mm-hmm.
and we appreciate you.
Yes.
So thank you for listening. You
Thank you.
can follow us on Instagram at You're Not
Me?
Paranoid. Go to our website, you're not paranoid.com. You can also follow us on Twitter at YNP Podcast.
Yeah, there's not a lot going on over there.
That's okay. We're there. You can look at our past stuff. And obviously, you can rate, review, subscribe. And
Mm-hmm.
thanks. We are so excited and we can't wait for next week. So
Yeah.
there you go.
We'll
Have
see
a
you
lovely
then.
day.
Have a good day.
And bye bye.
Bye bye.